Hey guys, this is a very quick instructional video on how to make a schedule for your contact center, for your blue collar call center. Now, if you have a giant call center, right, like we're talking like 3, 4, 5, 600 seat or bigger, this is not going to apply to you, okay? You can just move on from this because you probably have workforce management software or an entire team doing this for you. But let's say that you have a 20 seater, right, or less, and you need to figure out how to make a schedule that will account for your service level and make sure there's enough people on to get the entire, you know, call flow without abandoning calls, missing calls, calls rolling over to an answering service or a voicemail. Right now, this is geared more towards the trades because that's what I'm in, right? And it's what I know the most because let's face it, all the other call centers I managed have been giant seaters, right? So we had workforce management tools. So what this is, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a really quick schedule based on the last 90 days of average call volume per hour. All right, we're only going to do one day. We're going to do, let's say, a Monday, right? And this is for a 24/7 center. Okay. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to just make a schedule. Let's pretend this is off of actual real data and we're just not making the whole fucking thing up. All right. So, first we're going to do the times. So, and I'm going to do it straight down from midnight to 11 o'clock p.m. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right. So there we have it. And it's always best to use military time with this. Let me make it a little bigger for you. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go here. This is time. This is average call volume. And this is staff needed for that hour. Okay? And then we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. We're going to make it a little bit prettier. Okay? And then we'll come back and make it even more pretty after. And we're going to make these numbers up as we go. So, one call at midnight during the midnight hour. 3, 2, 1, 2, 4, 10. Let's see. I'm just making these up at random, so. There. All right. And as you can see here, if we're going to use conditional formatting, right? We can go like this, right? And we can go up to format, conditional formatting. Let's use color scale and boom, right? So there you have conditional formatting on this. Where you want the most people is between 10 and 6, right? Or 7, really, because that's for the 6 o'clock hour. So there you go. So that's what you want to do. We're just going to get rid of all that, right? So then what we're going to do is we're going to need to plug these numbers into the Erlang-C calculator. And for this one, I have always used Thomas Laird's Erlang calculator from Expedia, right? Why? because it's easy and I like Thomas or Tom. And so I use his stuff. Do I pay for his stuff? No. But I pay in exposure. Man, he should be grateful. Okay. So Erlang calculator right here. Average handle time. Do you know what your average handle time is? If you're like most trade centers, to book a call, right, it's about 300 seconds or 5 minutes, right? So if you want to figure that out really quickly and you're in customer service and you're not in accounting, bring up a calculator. Of course, it opens up on the wrong screen. 5 times 60. 300 seconds. All right. 300 seconds. And then for service level, we're going to go for the standard 80-20. Okay, 80% of the calls answered in 20 seconds or less. 80, 20. Boom. There you go. So, and then shrinkage. Now, you can go anywhere between 10, 15, or even 20% if you get a lot of call outs or you do a lot of coaching. All right, I'm going to go for 15%. Okay. There we have it. 300 seconds, average handle time, service level 80%, answer time 20 seconds, shrinkage 15%. Pretty easy, all right? Then we're going to drop this one down and we're going to put 1. Now, you can add new time here, right? It is what it is. Or you can just keep just using this one, right? So from this to this, incoming contacts, let's go back to here. And we have plenty of leeway, so let's see how many agents we would need for 15 incoming calls, okay? 1. So, using that math and that result, anything that has less than, or that has 15 or less is automatically 1 agent. Because even like, let's say 0 calls came in one night at 2 in the morning, right? Well, you'd still want someone there just in case. Yeah, they're burning money, but they can be doing other things like making sure your dispatch board is all set up for the next day, or writing thank you cards to go out the next morning, or printing invoices that people want mailed to them. Stuff like that, right? Answering maybe a digital lead that comes in overnight from Yelp, or Google LSA, or a form fill that someone at 2 in the morning decided to fill out because they were bored, right? So the next one we have here is 29. So let's go to 29. You need 2 agents to answer 29 calls. 2. And then it skyrockets up to 60 at 9 because that's when everybody assumes that you open. Let's 60. You need 5. 5 agents at 9 o'clock, okay? At 10 o'clock, you need 80. There's 87 contacts coming in. You need 8 agents to get that service level and to not allow any abandons, missed calls, voicemails, stuff like that, right? So at 11 o'clock, there's 88, which probably is going to be the same amount of agents. 8. All right. Then it kind of drops down to 85. So we just go like this, and 8 again. So 8, and then 85 is 8. So let's see if it changes with 84. No. So 8. So pretty easy, right? So far. It's 75 is the next hour. You need 7 agents for that, right? 61 is 5. So there we go. 60 is the next one. Probably 5 again. Yeah. Okay. And then 50 for the next hour. You need 4. Okay. So 30 is the next one. Probably 2, right? Yep, 2. Oh, 2. And then 24, let's see, is 2. And then if 15 was 1, let's see what 16 is. It's probably 1, right? It's 1. All right, so you got 1 day's staff needed to build your schedule on. And what you would do, you would just repeat this Monday through Sunday or Monday through Friday, whatever it is. And then you would, you need at least 8 people on between these hours. Between 10 and 2, you need 8 people on. So if you're going to build a schedule, right? And here we have name, we have Monday, we have Tuesday, and I'm going to laze out here. There we go. And then Monday's most likely going to be your busiest day. So Monday is the one that we can worry about first, and then we can fill in the rest. Or, well, you can fill in the rest. Okay, so we have slot 1, slot 2, and then we need at least 8, right? So I'm going to put, oh, fuck it. Okay. Because we got to make it look pretty, right? There we go. So really what we need, let's build out the peak times first, right? And we probably want some leeway. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the busiest hours are between 8 between 9 and 2. So with 3 and 4 being semi-busy. So let's do this. Let's do 8 to 4:30, right? And then 8:30 to 5, 8:30 to 5, 8:30 to 5, because we have to cover that stuff, right? And then just for shits and giggles here, we'll do 9 to 5:30. 9 to 5:30. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And just because we need the coverage at that time, let's do 6:30 to 3. Right? So during that peak time, we have 7 so far. And then let's do one more at, let's put in part-timer. 10 to 3. All right, we got a part-timer in there, right? 10 to 3. There we go. And then the rest of the schedule can be for the rest of the times, right? We can have a, let's say, a 4 to 10, because we need that, right? We need someone there. All right? 4. I usually make the... There. Okay. And then 1600 to 2000. Honestly, other than overnight there. And then we can have a 2200 to 0630. And we can actually get rid of slot 12. Boom. And then we'll go boom, boom. But we'll fix this up because I am weird. Okay. And then let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go to format, alternating colors. Boom. Done. Okay, so we have Monday's schedule. I'm going to fix this up because I'm hating it. Okay. There we go. So, what we have here is a schedule, and it is better to be a little bit overstaffed than it is to be understaffed, because starting at around 9-ish, if there's not enough calls coming in to account for all these people and they're not on lunch, right, you can have them switch over to outbound, right? So if we go here, let's make this pretty too. Like so. Like that. We'll make it green for money. All right, so this is what you have. So you have the time, right? Midnight through 11. Then we have the average call volume per hour. And then we have the staff needed per hour, right? With the majority of it being between 10 and 3. So, and then at 3, it starts dying down, right? And people start leaving. So, but this allows for 40 hours. It allows for outbound calling, which I suggest that you do in downtime, right? When people are on lunch. And then monitor it by your service level. So, if you monitor it by your service level, you'll be good. And then if the calls pick up, you can take those people off of outbound and put them back on inbound. But all you have to do is for each day, just repeat this method. And then depending on how many hours your people work, well, there you go. So that's how you build a schedule on the cheap. And I mean, other than salary, this was free, right? So there you go. So, but this is a scientific way. This is the way that allows all of your calls to be answered, plus allows outbounds to be done without letting calls roll over or whatever. And then if people are missing calls, honestly, that's either a staffing issue or that's either a staff issue, not a staffing issue, or it's the fault of like technology, right? So both of which are controllable. So just keep doing this until you have your entire week scheduled, right? And with this one, since Monday we've determined, we made up, is the busiest day of the week, the rest of the schedule will just fall into place and you can have days off for the people, 2 days, whatever, 3 days, depending on how many hours they work, right? And then you'll be good. So, in fact, we could probably, honestly, take this part-timer out. So let's do that. Let's go here, X, boom. And then we'll just rename these, right? Boom. So 10. There we go. More or less, that's good enough. Okay. I don't care. That part-timer would have helped, but honestly, if this is the busiest day of the week, all you have to do is allocate some additional resources, like have a lead or a coach or something. Just play backup. If you're using Dialpad or any other phone system and you have it on skill-based routing, have these people on the top tier, have your other people on a secondary tier so that the other people can still take calls if all of these people are unavailable or on break or on lunch. All right, so in the trades, just reading through a lot of things like the Service Titan Masterminds thing, everyone's saying, no, you should only have CSRs for this number of technicians, right? And that's cool. I get that. I understand the reasoning behind that because otherwise, like overhead and shit like that. But you shouldn't staff per technician. You should staff by call volume. So if your marketing is any good, you're going to get calls. Now, according to Service Titan's own website, 70% of the calls that are coming in are non-bookable, right? They're not leads. They're either people following up, they're vendors, they're this, that, or the other. And then 30% are bookable leads. So what you're really worried about is those 30%. Now the 70%, they still need to be taken, right? Because there could be a diamond in the rough in those, right? But for all intents and purposes, 70% of the calls that your CSRs are going to take are more or less non-revenue generating. There's a few ways you can get around that, right? You can have an IVR. You can have an AI voice bot that catches all the robocalls and stuff like that, right? Or if they're a call for another department, theoretically the IVR could transfer them over to the correct department. It is what it is. Now, any marketing person or cold caller or anything else is going to go through the IVR theoretically once get a voicemail or get the department, and then probably a voicemail, let's face it, right? So they're going to call back on the main line and be like, no, this is for customer service, and get to your people anyway, right? There's no way around that. Unless you block their number, which only reserve that for like severe cases. So, but there are ways around it like that, right? But let your customer service be customer service, right? So this is honestly the best way of making sure that your call center is okay, right? That they're answering all the calls, and then all you have to do is monitor the people and the processes. The schedule itself is easy, as you saw, and I was taking it slow. I can make one of these in like 10 minutes tops, and we're already at like 21 minutes, right? So, but all you need is Google Sheets or Excel, right? But I'm going the cheap way, right? Google Sheets is free. And the Erlang calculator from Expedia. So shout out to Thomas Laird. Advice from a call center geek. Fantastic. Is it as good as CX Riot Radio? It's probably as good. Yeah. I'm kidding. It's a lot better, and you should listen to it. But there we go. This is how, without fancy, expensive workforce management software, you can make a really quick schedule, right? And as an aside, I would definitely put that part-timer back in here so the coaches and the leads can do their jobs, right, and don't have to worry about taking overflow. But that's me. As I always say, it is better to be a little overstaffed than it is to be understaffed by any amount. So, and you can always switch people over to outbound or sending invoices or writing thank you cards or this, that, or the other. All right. Now, remember, the call center is a cost center, right? But with a few tweaks, you can make it into a value center. If you're doing full bore outbound calling, it can even be a little bit of a profit center, right? But there's no getting around the fact that it is a cost center. So it is what it is. I know I went viral a couple of years ago by saying the call center is not a cost center. The call center is not a cost center. The call center is not a cost center. The call center is not a fucking cost center. Went viral. Very proud of myself for that. Even like podcast views went up by that. So that was cool. But it is a cost center. Let's face it. Let's be real. Let's be realistic with all this shit. So it is what it is. But that's how you make a quick schedule. Now, do you have to tweak it? That's fine, right? Now, how do you get people to sign up for this, especially if they already have a schedule? It's called a shift bid, okay? This is where you rank all of your people by, this is what I use for my criteria. Booking rate, speed of answer, QA scores, attendance, average handle time, sometimes. Those are the 5 things I use. So, booking rate, QA score, speed of answer. Forgot what the other ones were. Attendance and average handle time. And I rank them all. I assign each points, ranked points, and then the person with the most points gets their first crack at whatever, they want to do, right? What shift they want to do. And then I just go down the list until there's like one slot left. And that person doesn't really get to choose, but they get the illusion of choice. Hey, do you want this schedule? I don't see any other choices. Do you want this schedule? And they usually say yes, right? So there it is. Just a little bit of advice for your blue collar call center. Feel free to ask any questions. Look at this. I just gave you this for free. I am such an amazing person. And yeah, I could have cut this down by a lot if I was going full speed. But I'm not, because I had to walk you through it. So here, plug all this stuff in. Plug it back into here. And you're good. All right. Bye.